What's going on, everybody? I'm Coach Co. Welcome to the Sports Cards Pro channel. Today, we are going to be diving into football, specifically playoff football, and see how the playoffs have resulted in some moving and shaking in the sports card market for some of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Before we get into today's video, I'm going to encourage you all to hit that like button, smash subscribe so that you never miss another Sports Cards Pro channel video moving forward. All right, team, let's get into this. We are going to load up our Sports Cards Pro app. All right, as you can see here, we have a one Mr. Justin Herbert Silver. And what I'd like to do, seeing as at the beginning of the season was so far away, so much has happened, not only in the sports card market, but also in the economy in general. We can't really use the beginning of the year as an indicator as to what's going on with this player's prices, or quite frankly, a lot of players' prices. So we're going to take specifically the last 6 months and even less than that, actually. I'm going to encourage you all to look at the last 3 months to truly see the trends in these cards and see, are they trending up or are they trending down, depending on what happened after this past week's playoff matchup. So as we know, Justin Herbert unfortunately lost to one Mr. Trevor Lawrence. And if you were sneaky enough to check out the headings of our next videos, you're going to see we're actually going to dive into Trevor Lawrence's cards after this. So let's say November, we were looking at a PSA 10 of the Justin Herbert Prism, number 325. This is one of the most notable cards for Justin Herbert. This is his rookie card. And the PSA 10 was closing for about $2,000, just below it, $1,929. Now, as a result of the loss, it's closing right around $1,790. So you're down about $200 here. I'm fairly certain that's close to 10%. So down about 10%, and we can confirm that as well if we go down here, our sold dates. So anything after this past Sunday, and that's when we see that, oh, this is it looks like a raw, I believe. Let's go into raw as well. So we're going to go ungraded. Okay. And it looks like this chart hasn't quite updated. So that's one thing about Sports Cards Pro, is that if the chart hasn't updated, you still have the luxury of going over here and checking out the recent sales of some of these cards. And that's something that I would encourage you to do actually quite frequently, because sometimes the chart isn't always an indicator of the last sales. So if we're talking even the ungraded copies, okay, PSA 10, or a raw silver was closing about 258 in November, 210 in December. It looks like the last sale price on the 16th, so just a few days back, was $138.50. So it is considerably lower than the previous sale. Now we do have on the 14th some $300 sale, or a $300 sale here, $240. I mean, it's entirely possible that when we go into this, that it is, no, there's nothing going on with it. So that's another thing that I actually thoroughly enjoy about Sports Cards Pro is you can actually click right into the listing. You can click right into the listing, just like so, just by clicking into it. All right, so his cards has dropped a little bit as a result of him losing. Not as significant as I thought it would be, quite frankly. A lot of people still believe in Justin Herbert. The second player we're going to be looking up is Trevor Lawrence. These are his silvers. This is numbered 331. So this is the number in the set of this card. Trevor Lawrence Silver Prism. Had to do the same as the Justin Herbert, just for argument's sake. And his card prices have gone in the complete opposite direction since November. November, a PSA 10 was closing for about $1,404. December, there was a little bit of hype of him potentially making the playoffs. They got up to $1,900. And then after that playoff victory, you're seeing well over $2,000 there. Again, we've got the ungraded sales. And we've got one that looks like it doesn't really belong here. This actually 61, 65 variations. We'll go into PSA 10 as well. It looks like the last Trevor Lawrence sale was the highest sale yet. I mean, there's one also in the 2,500 on October 28th, but at least since that outlier over here, a $2,475 sale. In comparison, I mean, this card was selling for about $1,100 back in December if we go and look at that kind of trajectory there. So, I mean, that is a pretty considerate bump. We do have that $2,500 sale here. Pop 36. So, I mean, every time one sells, it does have a considerable impact on the market. So, one chart is up. One chart is down. We've got one other guy. We've got Mr. Daniel Jones. I thought this would be interesting because there's a lot of Giants fans. They saw their team advance to the next round for the first time in quite some time, actually. So back in November, a PSA 10 would have cost you, this is his base, and we can go into searching up his silver as well. I'll show you guys how to do that later on. $28.24. And then again, leading up to playoff hype, you know, the Giants looking to make the playoffs for the first time in quite some time, $35, and then all the way up to $50. So almost a 100% increase from November. You see this hill and valley. And again, we can go down here to check PSA 10. And it's actually, it's even greater than that. If we look here, 102, 102, we've got a few hundreds. Look at all these Daniel Jones sales after Sunday. It's bananas. I mean, every single one of them seems to be, I mean, except for this one over here, this $50 one. The base looks like it's going for well over $70, where before, I mean, a $70 sale was a bit of an outlier. As you can see, it's mainly 30s, 40s, 50s. So Daniel Jones has definitely had a massive run up. And I did promise you guys we were going to search up, because what's the point in having this app if I don't show you how to search things up? We're going to go Daniel Jones, 2019 Prism Silver, just for argument's sake. Bada boom. Right here, 302. We've got his silver, and we'll see if the historical data matches up. We have here in October, so we're going to go 6 months. I'm telling you, once you guys start playing around with this site, you will be very, very happy with it. November, $61. It looks like it's taking a downward trajectory, and I have a feeling that is mainly because there's just not a ton of volume, to be honest. There's one sale per week. There's just not the volume to indicate the same price movement. So, I mean, if we were looking at the Prism Silver here in PSA 10, we would basically think that Daniel Jones's cards are down. And that's why the context is important. Team, I hope you enjoyed this video on Sports Cards Pro using Sports Cards Pro data. If you have a subject that you'd like us to cover, please feel free to let us know in the comment section. But for now, I want you all to have a wonderful rest of your day. Coach Co is out.